Welcome to Sensational Living with Liliana. I hope you guys have had a great couple weeks. I had a wonderful week in Hawaii, so I wasn't here last week to make you a fabulous meal, but we're going to make up for it today. We are going to do some keto style enchiladas. Now I know most enchiladas will take a tortilla. Even a low carb tortilla is oftentimes, for me, I think food combining is really important for the GI system. So when you're mixing any kind of, even if it's a gluten-free grain with an animal protein, sometimes for people who have sensitive digestive systems, it doesn't go over very well, and people will get a little bit of bloating. So today we're going to be very creative, and we are going to use cabbage leaf for our tortilla. And it's going to be really fun and very, very low calories and carbohydrates. So we're going to start out. I already did the cabbage leaves, but I just kind of want to show you because this is one part that is always kind of a little bit of a pain, is to try to get the lettuce leaves off without tearing them. And I've done it several ways, run it under hot water, but somehow I find this is the easiest way. The only thing that you have to do is be very careful that you don't allow the simmering water to jump up on you by dropping the cabbage leaf, the cabbage itself back into the water. It can jump up on you and scald you, so you want to be very careful. So I've got this water on simmering right now, and so again, you don't need it to have it on a boiling, so we just want it simmer so that it's not terribly hot, but hot enough for us to be able to get the cabbage leaves off. Now this is the cabbage I've already done, but so what you want to do is you want to core out the center. And basically I just took a knife and I just did 4 squares and I pulled out the core just all in one little piece there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this cabbage straight into the water, and then again, be very careful because you don't want the water to jump up on you because it is quite hot. And then you just have to just keep an eye on this because you want to take the leaves off as they soften up. And I've already got some leaves here that I've done earlier. As you well know, it's going to take a little while to cook these, so I've done some preparation prior too. But again, you just want to keep them so they are pliable, not too cooked, because they'll be going into the oven probably for about 30 minutes. So everything's going to pretty much be pre-cooked anyway, but we want all of the flavors to blend just nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that in a second. We're going to go ahead and also, now what I would suggest also is using tongs to do this. And so again, I'm just going to show you how easy this is. Now you're going to play with this in regards to making sure that the core, that you cut enough of the core so that when you get down after a few lettuce leaves that you're not going to have some of them stuck together. And so I'm going to just show you how easy you're going to be able to pull these off. And so sometimes it's good to have 2 little tongs so you don't have to try to be too maneuvering here. But they just come off really nicely. And so I just wanted to show you that. And so don't try to pull them off, just let them naturally come off. So you just see how easy that was. And I'm just going to set that into the colander. And again, one by one, don't take your time. We're in no rush here. So this one, it doesn't really quite want to come just yet. So I'm just going to let it sit there for another second or two. Again, you don't want to cook these very long, but as soon as they get soft, go ahead and pull them off. Very, very simple. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because we have enough cabbage leaves already ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this over here to a side because we won't need this anymore. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make the enchilada sauce. Now, I looked at a lot of different enchilada sauces out there on the market, and you know, none of them met to my satisfaction as far as the ingredients. And so whether it's a bad oil or a filler or hydrogenated yeast, which could be MSG, or a variety of other different titles that they can give things that aren't exactly healthy for us. So I decided today it would be very easy just to make my own enchilada sauce. So I'm going to start out by throwing everything in the blender. This is really super, super simple. It's not going to take too much effort. Now I'm just going to come over here so you can follow me with that camera there. Got my niece filming me today. Landy's on vacation enjoying herself. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with approximately 2 cups of some diced. These are really great, already fire roasted tomatoes. So they're awesome with a little bit of chilies in them already. So we'll go ahead and set that there. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of onion in there, just a tad. maybe like 2 tablespoons, not much. I'm gonna put about 4 garlic in there. And again, to your specification as much as you'd like. Now this is a chipotle chili, and so you want to make sure that you take the seeds out of this. And so again, you just kind of want to open it up and just gently take the seeds out. They are chili, so whatever you do, whatever you put on your fingers, don't let them end up in your eyes. I've done that several times. So we're just going to go ahead and drop 2 of these chilies in here. Make sure the seeds are all taken out. And then again, to your specifications, if you wanted just a little bit more chili, I like to have everything with a little bit of spice. Being Mexican, I like with a little zip. So again, just to your taste. I'm going to go ahead and put about 1 teaspoon of some salt. Okay, let's get this a little whirl. Now you want to blend it up nicely because this is a sauce. We don't want the chunky aspect of it. I'm going to add some nice herbs to this as well, some spices. So let's just go ahead and put it in here. You want to have it on a simmer. Actually, in a little bit, I might have you wash that blender out for me because I'm going to use it for a really, really good sauce I'm going to make. Okay. Okay, so to this, we're going to go ahead and add some chili powder. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of some chili powder to it. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of paprika. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin to it as well. And I'm going to put a little teeny bit of onion. Well, I've already got the onion in there. I'm going to put just a little bit more onion powder, just a little bit. So we've got 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of chili powder. About 1 teaspoon of salt as well. I'm going to put about 4 drops of stevia in this. And then again, to your specifications, if you don't like, you can't even taste the stevia in this, honestly. A lot of people don't like the taste of stevia because they say it gives them a little bit of an after bitter taste, but I like the liquid organic. It doesn't seem to have that for me, but again, I have an acquired taste for it, I'm sure. So I'm just going to put 4 little drops, 5 actually. And a lot of times people will put a little bit of honey or a little bit of coconut sugar in here just to bring down a little bit of the acidity of the tomatoes. But I find this works just fine, just a couple of drops of that nice little stevia. Okay, we're going to let this cook. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of some chicken broth. Actually, Sam, can you get that out of the refrigerator for me? Chicken out here. Awesome. And that on the side too, there's that little bit of the, just about 1/2 cup of chicken broth, that little green cucumber or the avocado sauce at the very bottom. There you go, right there. Yeah. Thank you. Got my helper here today, my niece. We all went on a great vacation to Hawaii. It was just so awesome to be around family and just to connect. I mean, there's a difference when you're at home and you see your kids and they go here and there, but being together and going on adventure and making memories is so special, because these are the things that, you know, we don't get to do very often. So when we get to do it, it's really nice when we can all come together and share in the adventure of hiking and biking and swimming and making all kinds of wonderful memories. I'm going to go ahead and set that to the side. So I just put 1/2 cup of chicken broth in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and let this simmer. I'm going to cook it for approximately about 10 minutes, and just so it thickens up a little bit. It's, you know, just already at a good texture, but we're just going to reduce it down just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cook a bit. Now, what I like to do with the chicken, now you can also use any leftover chicken that you have, but I'm going to bake the chicken, and obviously I've done it already, so I'm going to show you how to do it. But this is really nice, but it keeps it really moist, and we've got a lot of flavor to this. And again, if you have a rotisserie chicken that you cooked the night before and you've got extra chicken and you're trying to figure out what to do with this and you're sick of having a chicken salad, then these are really nice to make these wonderful enchiladas out of these cabbage leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and get the chicken here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take well, these limes are actually beautiful and big, so I might only need to have half, so we'll see. If you got a little teeny lime, I would just put one, but this is a pretty good, nice size organic lime, so I'm just going to put a half of a lime on there. So depending on your lime, if it's small, then use a whole one, otherwise just use a half. I'm going to go ahead and put some dried oregano on here. Actually, before I get started, just have a little bit of olive oil on there so everything sticks beautifully. And then again, just drizzle a little bit of olive oil. It's about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. And let's go ahead and put some oregano. You can be generous with it. Now, this is a bone-in chicken, and it's approximately about 3, almost 4 pounds of chicken. I bought it at Trader Joe's. It's organic, free range. It's a split chicken, so it's 2 breasts and 4 drumsticks. So this will be enough chicken for sure for at least 4 to 6 people. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of garlic powder on there. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt on here. Some black pepper. Super simple. Almost out of my black pepper too. Okay, and I'm just going to the chicken breasts, I don't really turn them around to coat them, but I will do that with the drumsticks so they can have herbs on all sides. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little teeny bit of more oregano to this side here. And again, this chicken is just fantastic on its own. So if you want to make it as a main entree, this is just a really great way to do it. To do with tons of flavor. Okay, and a little teeny bit more salt on this side for those little drumsticks. Okay, we are ready to go. Now I've got some parchment paper because I don't like using aluminum foil directly onto any of my food, but I need a nice cover for this so that it retains the moisture. So actually, I'm going to keep that on the end. I'm going to go ahead and leave it this way for a little while, okay? So we're going to go ahead and roast it without anything on it. But if it starts to get a little too brown, then we'll go ahead and put the lid on it. But definitely when we make the enchiladas, we're definitely going to use that foil to keep those rolls nice and moist. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven. So we're going to let the sauce go. I'm going to show you the final in just a moment. We're going to let that rest for a few minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and put some nice cheese on there. Now I'm going to show you how I shredded the cheese. I've already done a little of the shredding here. So I've got 2 types of cheese. I've got some goat cheese, and this is what I'm going to put on top. Actually, this is a sheep cheese. I'm going to put that on top. I've shredded it with my shredder. I'm going to show you an example of how to do that. And in the inside, I put a raw cheddar cheese as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just top that onto there now, because we're going to be putting this back in the oven. And again, if you don't like cheese in your diet, you can omit this and you can use some vegan almond cheese. The Daiya cheese is really quite nice with this, and you really can't tell the difference. But today I'm using raw cheese and also a little bit of goat cheese as well. I'm going to go ahead and put that back over there for a moment. Okay. Excellent. Let me see here. I need one more thing here. So what I want to do now is show you, it's so easy to shred the chicken, but you got to wait till it's a little cooler because otherwise it will burn your fingers. So I just already shredded some of it, but I just kind of wanted to show you also how to do this as well. So this is what it's gonna look like, and when it comes out of the oven, it's gonna have the skin on it, so you want to remove the skin. So again, you can just use your fingers here and just peel the skin right off. I mean, some of you might want to eat it, but I'd say not in the enchiladas. It's not that fun. And then again, this you can just go ahead and shred it. Don't be afraid to use your hands, very primal. Get up and close and real with your food. Just take this right off of the bone as well. Having it with the bone gives it a lot more moisture and a lot more flavor. And so again, if you want to use chicken breasts that don't have a bone to make it a little easier, you can do that. But again, you're going to want to cook it at a lower temperature and for a little bit longer, but actually not even a little bit longer, just at a lower temperature. Okay, so let's go ahead and just dice this little chicken up. And then again, just take off any skin or any of the gristle, because that's no fun to have as well. And then just a little bit of shredding. I don't like to chop it, I like to more shred it. This is how I was taught how to make enchiladas, not chopped, shredded. Nice and moist, easy to cut. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. We're gonna saute some onions, some yellow onions, and also some hatch chilies. So that's going to be, really give this a nice little bit of a kick to it, which is going to be great. I think my knives need sharpening. Too much cooking and not enough sharpening. Summer's almost over with. My nephew just went back to school yesterday. And so we got to slip in that vacation, and my sister and her two children, my daughter and her boyfriend, and our husbands, and we just had a fabulous time. So it was a great way to kick off the new school year, and we're really excited to do it again because we had so much fun. But I tell you one thing, it was gorgeous. We stayed in Princeville, and you know, mostly the North Shore rains a lot, but we had gotten the most fabulous weather with the little drizzles of rain, with the most incredible, beautiful rainbows. So we were absolutely thrilled. Okay. Excellent. Let's see how this sauce is coming along. So you definitely want to turn it down. You can get it to a little bit of boil and then turn it down to let it simmer a bit. Perfect. Okay. Just set that right there. Now I've already made the sauce, and so again, you could make this a day in advance. I just wanted to show you how to do it. It's very easy with the fire roasted tomatoes with the chilies. I get them at Trader Joe's. They're organic. They're awesome. So again, it gives it a nice kick when that little bit of the fire roasted. Okay. Just set this over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and start my onions. I need a bigger kitchen. I'm going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil. And I'm going to take my onion. This is approximately about 1.5 cups. So it's just a 1 medium-sized yellow onion, organic of course. I got some great hatch chilies, and you want to taste them because they do have a bit of a kick to them. And so if you don't like a whole lot of chili, I would say just use 1. But we like a little spice in our family, so I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of them. And also too, you want to take the seeds out as well. got a lot of moving parts today. My goodness. And again, they're not terribly seedy, but just enough. And then we're just going to want to dice this up. Go ahead and stick these onions in there now. This is going to go inside the chicken, so it's going to make it really flavorful. Let's throw that hot chili in there already. I did earlier. Got a little swirl there. Let that cook a bit. Put a lid on that so it cooks a little bit faster. So let me show you how to do this shredded cheese. Now, the Salad Master is the king of all shredders. But of course, you could use your old-fashioned shredder as well. But I like it because it gives me all different types of shredding. So I'm going to do like a cheese grating, and then I'm going to do a very fine grate that will go up on top of the enchilada itself. So let's go ahead and put this here. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and make the jicama salad. Now, I love something fresh and crispy, and since we're using a cabbage leaf, I'm not going to do a big salad or anything, so I thought it would be really nice is a little bit of jicama with some cucumbers, a little bit of cayenne, and a little bit of lime on it. I think that would be really, really nice. So we're going to go ahead and start off with shredding that. Actually, I need this one here. Number 3. This makes it really nice. Make a cabbage salad, make any kind of salad. So I'm just gonna, now what I've done is I've taken the jicama and I've just skinned it. Now, of course, you can take just a potato peeler. It doesn't work as well, you know. I just take a nice paring knife and then just take all of the skin off of it. Okay, so then we just give this a little shred here. And so I'm doing it so that it's really easy to eat in regards to no big chunks, and it's just going to be really delicate and fine. So it's going to be really make a nice accompaniment to this. It's a little bit bigger than julienne strips, but I like it because it's thin and you know, it's as close as you can get to a shredded salad without it being really shredded, but enough so that it's easy to eat. And I'm just going to take this cucumber here. Now you can use any kind of cucumber you want. I like these little Persian organic cucumbers. I just keep the skin on them because they're organic, so why not, right? How easy is that? Pretty darn easy. Okay. Won't need that little shredder anymore. This is the number 3 blade to the Salad Master. Now to this salad, I'm just going to add some lime, some salt, a little teeny bit of pepper, and just a little bit of cayenne. So I already got this half a lemon here, so I'm going to go ahead and just use that. Actually, I'm going to probably need a whole lot more than a half a lemon lime, but let's see how we go. I'm going to make a really nice creamy, like an avocado sauce to go over it. So instead of having a big chunk of guacamole on there, I'm just going to just do a really delicate little swirl of some nice creamy avocado sauce to go on top. Okay, what am I doing here? All right, I need a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and open up this other lime, because I know I'm going to need more than that. So you want to put 1 whole lime. These are nice and big. Again, if they're small little limes, I'd probably use at least 1.5. But you know, you can take it, taste it to your liking. And a little bit of black pepper. Now my sister is very famous to make the marinated red onions. And so I had some, and I thought, well, I'm gonna just throw those in there because that will make it really kind of colorful and really pretty. So this is just cayenne pepper. I'm just gonna add just a couple little, you know, swirls in there, not too much because we don't need to have it overpowering, but just enough. Now I didn't feature the onions, but they are so easy to make. All you're gonna do is take your onion, your red onion, and you're gonna cut it in half, then dice it, you know, in slices. You're going to put about 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar and a little bit of salt, and just let it marinate for 2 hours or more. Keep them in the fridge. You can throw them on salad, you can throw them on tacos, and so they're really nice and handy to have. Let's have a look here. I've got a lot of moving parts, as I said today. Okay, so let's give it a little taste here, see if we need to add a little more salt. Jumped right out of my mouth. And then again, cayenne to your taste, okay? So, you know, taste it. So if you want to add a little bit more, I'm going to add a little bit more salt here. And then I'm going to add some of these red onions here. So again, these red onions, look how beautiful it's picked up the color in the vinegar. And then again, a couple of hours of marinating is great. These will last in the refrigerator for a couple of days. So I'm just going to add that for color and fun. And I might even just add a little teeny bit of the apple cider vinegar sauce to it. I'm going to play with it here. Don't want a ton of it, but just to give it an accent color, and that looks beautiful. Maybe one little bit more spoonful. So that was probably about, let's just say, about 1/3 cup of these marinated onions. Doesn't that look gorgeous? All right, let's have a taste of it now. And then of course, when you let it sit for about 20 minutes or so, all the vegetables are gonna pick up the flavor, the tartness of the lime, and a little bit of the salt, but it still remains nice and crunchy. That is really good. So I'm gonna add just about a tablespoon of this little vinegar. My sister does this all the time. She's in love with these onions. Okay, let's have another taste. Perfect. I'm gonna leave it just like that. That is beautiful. I'm just gonna set that right there because that's gonna be a nice accompaniment. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and take our chicken that we've shredded, and we're gonna go ahead and put the onions and the hatch chilies in it now. I'm going to add some oregano, dried oregano as well. I added it to the chicken, but remember I took the skin off of it. So even though those herbs permeated the chicken very nicely, we lost some of that oregano because we took off the skin. So I'm putting about a tablespoon of oregano in there. And I'm going to add a little bit more salt. I'll taste it to see, about a pinch, really, because I salted the chicken, remember, before I put it in. A little bit of black pepper. Okay, let's give this a whirl. Now I'm going to add some cheese to this as well. So again, to your liking, if you don't want to use cheese and you don't like the vegan almond cheese, then you don't need to use cheese at all on this. So you can do it any way you would like it. But I'm having fun today and celebrating my 1-year anniversary that I had yesterday. So I'm still in vacation celebration mode. So it's awesome. Everything keeps falling out of my mouth today though. I think I'm still on jet lag. Kauai is a 3-hour difference from California. So it's really nice. I pick up a little bit of the chili in it, but it's not too aggressive. So it's going to be really nice, especially with that sauce. It's going to have a little bit of the chili flavor into it as well. And taste it. That's perfect. Okay. Go ahead and set this aside. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to taste what these taste like. I've done different kind of cabbage rolls, but never these ones, so it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Spread a little of your sauce in here. Okay. Kind of coat the pan. Don't need a whole lot, but just enough in there. I'm going to go ahead and add about a ½ cup of cheese to this. And then I'm going to shred the other cheese that I have, that's the sheep cheese, with a very fine shredder. So it will melt just beautifully on top. All right, that looks fantastic. Okay. So now we're going to take our lettuce leaf. And again, this was a beautiful, not our lettuce, our cabbage leaf. It was a beautiful cabbage. It was nice and large. I'm going to find that one little cabbage that I did earlier for you. So you can see here on the cabbage that it still has its vein here. You want to remove the vein because this is the toughest part of the cabbage. So you're just going to take your little paring knife and then just very delicately, don't make too big of a slit, just directly alongside of it, and just take out that little bit of a vein. And then it comes out just nicely. So now it looks like this, but we're going to put them together so that they make a nice tortilla, okay? All right, let's use some of these bigger lettuce leaves here. So you can see this, I'm just going to put them together so that they fit nicely like that. I'm going to set that right down. I'm going to put a little teeny bit of the sauce in the middle, probably like about a teaspoon or so, just in the middle, just to give it a little bit of a punch. And then I'm going to just take a dollop of this chicken mixture here. Make them nice and ample because really, honestly, one of these is probably going to fill you up just perfectly. You want to take the edges. Can you zoom down here a little bit? And you want to take the edges and you can just actually tilt it down with that thing up and down. There you go. Got my niece here. She's learning how to do Facebook Live. It's awesome. We'll get the whole family going here. All right, so you're just going to put it directly in the middle. You're going to take these two corners, pull them together, and then you're just going to roll it up as if it was just a nice little taco, and then pull it in like that. Perfect. All right, these are going to be fun. Again, put the two edges together. Make sure you got enough of that stem out because it's no fun having a hard texture when you're having everything else that's soft and beautiful and fun to eat. Okay, right in the middle. Pull in the sides together and then just gently roll it up. And it's okay if a little of the chicken shows, just kind of shove it back in there. We don't need to be perfect. Cooking is not about perfection. Cooking is about love and about really putting your heart and soul. And honestly, we really need that right now when there's so much going on in our world and uncertainty and so many people that need to really remember that anatomically we are all the same. You know, our color of our skin may be different. We might be from a different country, but we're all God's children. So at the end of the day, we're all the same. So if we have compassion for each other, starting with ourselves to everyone we see, it'll make a big difference in this world. And so one of my gifts is cooking. And so this is what I love to do for my family because it shows them a lot of love and I get a lot of enjoyment out of their enjoying my food. So awesome. Doing pretty good with these. Right in the center. I'll just be pouring the rest of the sauce right over it. You know, the ones that are just a little bit littler, obviously you can't put as much filling in it, but you know, be as generous as you can. A little spread there. So I'm really excited to start this Keto Kickstart Club, probably sometime in September. I've got a little button on Facebook there that says if you're interested, I'd like to know what any challenges that you might be having with starting a keto lifestyle, or any problems that you might be having as well. I'm an expert at this, and so I'm going to be sharing all of my advice on how to create a keto adaptive lifestyle, start to finish, in regards of even how you live your life. Oh, that one slipped by me with a little bit of a stem. Let's take that out. So again, the little ones aren't going to take as much, so don't try to overstuff them. Be generous, but not to the point where you can't make them into nice little rolls. I'm going to put a little bit more sauce in there. This one's a big one. And again, what you want to do is you want to dry out when I did these leaves earlier and I put them in the colander to let them dry with any water, I also patted them dry with a paper towel as well, so that they would be dry and not have the water to create more moisture in these. Okay. Getting down to the final count here. I think we can fit one more in there. So let's do this last little one. Let's turn that to the side for a moment. See if I can overstuff it without it falling apart. Pretty good. Okay, excellent. Squeeze that in there just like that. I have one more left. Let's see if we can make a little baby one here with those last of the ingredients here. Don't want to let any of it go to waste, although with any extra you have, you can have it for a salad tomorrow, which would be nice. Just go ahead and put the rest of this little cheese that was left in there to give it a little extra volume. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and pour this sauce over the top. I'm not going to put the cheese on until a little later, after we cook this. These should stay in the oven for approximately about, I'd say, 30 minutes. They're already pretty pre-cooked. You don't want to overcook them because you don't want the cabbage leaves to get so mushy. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my parchment paper on first, and then I'm going to put my foil on next. Just pop this in the oven. Okay, we are doing good. As you can see, I'm really good at being able to stack up pots and pans this high up. My husband always says, "Oh my gosh, you are the messiest cook on earth." And I say, well, sorry, but that's what it takes to have fabulous meals sometimes. Got lots of things going on at one time. All right, I'm gonna make a really nice sauce to go over these. And so again, it's the simplest sauce to do. Instead of having guacamole or anything alongside of this, I'm just going to take a nice heap of cilantro. So really, I'd say, you know, a good handful. And so I'm gonna probably about that much of it. Let's just say if I were to chop it all up, which I don't really want to because that's going to go into the blender, might be about a half a cup. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in. Keep a little bit for afterwards when we want to put some condiment on top. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of organic sour cream. And then again, if you want to use yogurt, you can use this. This is sour cream, doesn't have any carbohydrates in it, which is really nice. So it leans very ketogenic along with the cheese. I think that might have 1 carbohydrate, so but very, very little. We're going to put a little bit of lime juice in there as well. So that other half lime, I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. That's a pretty big lime. And then I'm going to use an avocado here. And so again, just kind of use my, be careful, people sometimes cut themselves here. You gotta just kind of give it a twist to it. And I just take my thumb and I just go around the outside of the edge. I don't mind if I get a little bit of avocado in my fingernail. I can easily wash that out. Don't leave anything on that avocado skin at all. Okay. I'm going to put approximately about a tablespoon of some water in here just to kind of just give it a little bit more volume for the liquid. Okay. Let's give it a whirl in the Vitamix here. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in here as well. I'm going to add, see, I'm spilling everything today. I think I'm still on jet lag, but don't worry. Being on jet lag doesn't ruin the ability for me to do what I call subliminal programming, which is great keto food all the time, regardless. Okay, let me get in here and get my little spoon. Now this is a little thicker than what I don't know. Let me have a look at it. I want it kind of thick, but not too terribly thick. And a little bit of salt, and this is ready to rock and roll. All right, let me get my salt. Say about maybe a half a teaspoon at the most, not too much. Okay. Actually, and I think I might just add just a teeny bit more water. Again, use purified water. You don't want to have funky water. Just a little bit more. This will be a really nice accompaniment on top of those enchiladas. It's going to be awesome. All right. Let's see how we go. And then again, you can make it as thin or as thick as you like. Pretty darn good. I'm gonna add just a teeny bit more of salt, just a tad, just another little teeny pinch. The lime juice is just perfect in there. It gives it a little bit of a tang. You can really taste the nice pungentness of the cilantro. So it's really great because you got a great fat in here, which is the avocado. You have cilantro, which is a chelating agent, an agent for any kind of heavy metal. So, you know, it's medicinal, even if we have a little sour cream in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. All these little accoutrements out of the way. Let's go ahead and have a look at our, okay. So isn't this beautiful? My goodness, I'm gonna plate this up and we're gonna have Selena try it. And you know, we're Mexican, so we've grown up with eating corn tortillas. My mother used to hand make them every day and it was just fantastic. But now that I've gotten to be completely, gluten-free. So there's not very many tortillas that I really love that it just really can compare. And since I've become more keto adaptive in my lifestyle, although I did have a couple of chicken enchiladas with real corn tortillas in Hawaii, but that's what inspired me to make these, to make them very ketogenic. Because although I did follow 90% of my lifestyle keto over there, you know, you're always in the company of your family and friends. And so, you know, you got to have a little rice when you're on Kauai. It's the island. They serve rice and macaroni and, you know, with everything. Of course, I didn't eat the macaroni because that was completely gluten, and at least the rice wasn't. So, but here's a really great ketogenic meal that I thought would be wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this. See how absolutely fantastic this is. Looks like an enchilada to me, huh? What do you think, Selena?
It does. It looks just like an enchilada.
It's pretty darn amazing.
I'm ready to try it after watching you make it this
I
whole
know,
time.
exactly. It's going to be so cool. So let's just, you know, drizzle a little bit of that over the top to make it absolutely perfect. And then I've got this nice little spread already that I did with the avocado and sour cream and cilantro. So let's just give that a little whirl. Look at that.
That is beautiful.
That's gorgeous. Okay, now we got to have that little salad too. So what did I do with my little salad bowl? There it is. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. We'll accompany it with just a little teeny bit of salad onto that little thing there. Thank you.
So good.
Well, you're gonna let me know.
I'm ready for
just a second. We've all been what I call intermittent fasting since we got back, because you know, if you go on a 90% keto, you still gain a few pounds when you're on holiday because you're eating foods that you normally would not have, like rice or a corn tortilla here and there. Oh, we can't forget the shaved ice though, right?
No.
So we have things that normally we wouldn't have, and we should enjoy ourselves when we're on vacation, but not to the extent that we don't feel good afterwards. But at the same time, you know, you're going to gain a few pounds, so I'm going to be teaching you guys how to quickly get that weight off after you've gone on vacation, because you will be already have the enzymes to be able to burn fat for fuel. So it won't take you long. Like I'd say, my sister said, oh, I'm already down a couple pounds. And so we know you can't lose 3 pounds in a day, but what you can do is you can release a lot of the water that your body tries to retain when you're eating more starchy carbohydrate foods. And so when you eliminate them out of your diet and you go back to your normal regime of eating, within about a 4-day period, you should get back to your set point. And that's the goal of the whole keto lifestyle, is to be able to be very vibrant, to be able to live a really sensational life and vacation and, you know, do the odd end things once in a while, but to be able to maintain your weight and your vitality throughout your whole life. Who says you have to gain weight when you go through menopause, right? Okay, Selena, let me give you a go on that. So let's just set that, it looks so pretty, I don't even want to set that to a side there, but I'm going to just move this over just a tad and set that in there like that. And look at that. Is that beautiful? That is absolutely fantastic. To me, it looks great. It looks like a chicken enchilada, but let's see what Selena has to say. So I'm going to give you a fork and knife here. All right. There you go.
Let's try it out.
Let's see how it goes.
All right.
Maybe you cut right down the middle so you get right in that center. So we can have a look at what they can have a look, and just maybe separate it to the side so they can have a look at it there.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
Okay, let's see, go for it.
All right, let's try it out. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the salad and put it right on top of the enchilada.
See, you can tell she's Mexican. You know, we turn everything into a taco, one layer on top of another layer.
Exactly.
Is it good?
Delicious. So good.
Is it good?
Yeah,
I'm so
great.
excited. Wow. So you think it's just as good as the enchilada with the tortilla?
Just as good, if not better for me, because, you know, I love the gluten-free lifestyle as well, the ketogenic lifestyle. So this is like amazing. And that chili adds so much flavor to the chicken, you know, along with the herbs that you marinated with.
Oh, good.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah. You gotta try it too.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, try it.
All right, let me have a bite of this. I gotta try with this little sauce I make, because this looks really, really good. Excellent. Let me try this. Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, that's amazing. It's perfectly herbed, perfectly salted. and that sauce on top just seriously finishes it off. It's amazing. High five.
Another great keto delicious meal. Oh, I'm so excited. Enchiladas without the tortilla.
Just as good.
Oh my goodness, that is just awesome. So please share this with your friends and all those people who are wanting to get their inflammation levels down, want to keep their youth for as long as they can, their lean body shape. And don't forget to join our keto club because we are really excited about it. And give me any comment on things that you might have any challenges with as well. And have a great week. And for those of you who are going back to school, remember, you can still stay on keto style all through the school year. Have a great day.